believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadakuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way if the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent?
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. This is my Rahim here. Mr. Covenant. We got 7 seals. Got a little voice issue, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. You will. Why you got so much love for America? Muhammad didn't have that. Let it match from Muhammad. Reads lessons. Say 100% wicked has to be removed from the planet. So why you got so much love for America? So much America for love. He don't want to see anything happen to America. He wants to stay here. You know, the covenant says, God says, we're going back home. He said, no, we ain't going no damn where. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, God says we're going to return home after 40 years. He said, we ain't going no damn where. He wants to stay here. God said he want to destroy this wicked, evil place. He wants to stay. Why he wants to stay here? Why he's not in, because he's the Messiah, right? So why is he against the will of Allah? Against the will of Allah. That's the will of Allah to take us out of, and he's Messiah to live into freedom. As long as we stay here, we're a slave nation. And he claims we're a nation, so why would a nation want to be enclosed in another nation if you're truly a nation? See, he don't believe we're a nation. He's part of America. He don't see that this is just facade. I told you this bait to trap all those who still had any light of Elijah. If he believes was nation, he wants separation. Nation wants to be free. No nation wants to be United Nation if you sucked up in the bottom of some other nation. And that's his father. See the resemblance? Light-skinned Caucasian? I mean, light-skinned Jamaican? No. He might be light-skinned Jamaican, but he's a Caucasian by ethnicity, right? And ethnicity. Look at him. That's his father. Daddy. He's a devil. You see to your father. Don't give me that stuff. One job of black but make you black. It might make you black. It don't make you original. Right? Look at him. That's his daddy. He's a devil. Black-faced devil, which is a demon. Louis Eugene Grounds NOI backwards. Brothers and sisters, I got a special presentation for you today. I wouldn't even call it a presentation, brothers and sisters, because my ministry days are over. We're at war now. You don't realize it. That's a shame. We're at war now. The war has started. You still don't see it. The abomination, desolation was a warning signs. You didn't see that. And no one's telling you about it. They can't tell you because they expose him. And Farrakhan, somebody told him to shut up, but he couldn't tell you anyway because he don't know. Even if he did, devils told God ain't told him a goddamn thing. If he told him to shut because he was lying. If he told him to shut, that means because you're a liar. If he told him anything, the same God that allowed his ass to be blown up. Radiation pellets. The same one that told him, right? Shut up. Think about it. Come on, brothers and sisters. Let me move on here. What's this? Oh, bro, it's just a minute here. What's this? Second. Oh, some dumbass pulling shit out of his ass, calling it honey. You know, that's all right. Time is over. Time is over. Right? Go on, brothers and sisters. But Daddy, now listen to me.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother.
Both sides.
Wake us up, dear Papa.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Hear that, brothers and sisters? And he loved the devils. Massive. Oh, please don't let them have nothing to him. I don't want nothing to happen to him. I love him so much. I love here. I want to stay here. I don't want to go place else. I want to stay here with Master. I love them. I want nothing to happen to them. But for you, the Muslims, male and female, I pray a lot of worms eat your ass. Oh, he got love for Master, but he got no hatred and venom for you. Hope the worms eat your ass. Why? Because you're not putting enough steaks on his plate. You're not putting enough $5,000 suits on his back. $10,000 rings on his finger. That's why. And then he doesn't mention the fact that when the Muslim was alive, who killed him? Him and Wallace. I was there. Him and Wallace killed it. They killed it, got rid of it, and started some called Balalians. Take more for a check. I was there. Understand? 77 years old this week. I was there. Understand? And they took the money, liquidated everything, and left the base with nothing and ran. And when the wolves came, they didn't protect the sheep. He left to abandon the sheep, in fact, threw the sheep to the wolves. He didn't stay there. He left with the money. That Cushman, Bernard Cushman had to go dig them out. No, throw all together. Secondly, when the Muslims like to hell things, could have a leader. We worked hard selling. I was a foreman, I'm a secret newspaper, night foreman. Plus, I sold my 300 papers a week like every other at FOI. 300 a week. $2.99, 300. Yes, it's out of there. And I gave the money to Elijah, and he invested that money. Banks, stores, farmland, residential. He had a residential housing unit right across the street from that school up, I think, on 87th Street, because I lived in there. He invested all that. When he left here, he didn't leave with a pocket full of money. In fact, he left with no money, because all the money was invested in the Nation of Islam. That's where he did invest it. That's why he had those things. We had a leader. We gave him the money, that's where he invested in. But what Farrakhan invests in? He invests in, he's a multi-millionaire. He put his own damn pocket in his son's pocket. He hasn't produced a goddamn thing in 40 some years. But he said, oh, when we was alive, you ever held this a leader that took the money and invested? But what you doing with the money they give it to you? You put in your goddamn pocket. That's why you curse with a curse. That's why you're pissing shit in a bag. Can't wipe your ass. Walk around in a jumpsuit because you can't dress yourself. That's the bottom line there when Mush was alive. See, but he let the devil go, oh, I want that, him. But for you, I pray Allah, the worms eat your ass. But you don't want to take care of his ass. See? You don't want to take care of him. See? That's what he hoped for you. Let's move on, brothers and sisters.
$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
There it is, brothers and sisters. That's been my presentation for years. No one as yet, but they send me nasty grams and all kinds of stuff. But this is what Farrakhan saying, right? That's what those that witness him saying. Right? So, I mean, that should be easy. Come get your $5,000. Not, no one at any time has ever approached me and says, okay, I'm open. They can send me a text. They can check, wherever, they can contact me. No one's ever stepped up forward and says, hey, okay, I got that 5,000. I'm going to show you, because they can't. I told you, they don't believe in last Muhammad. They don't believe in Master Muhammad. That's bait. It's been out there to snuff out all the light. Anybody has any light of Elijah, snuff it out. He's saying just the opposite. Those ain't those anymore. We're not going anywhere, was the crown, that was the foundation message of Elijah Muhammad. I was there in 1775, foundation message. That was a dream, not the dream, but the vision, to return home, to get away from these devils, to have a nation. If you have a nation, why would you have a nation in the bowels of another nation? That's not a nation. Nations are independent. So how can he call himself Nation of Islam if you want to stay here? That means you're not a nation. You want to stay part of America, nation. Now you're not a nation. He says he wants to stay here. He likes it here. He wants to stay a part of this nation. Is that clear enough for you? He's saying, I want to stay a part of this nation. I'm not a nation of my own. I'm just telling y'all nation shit to get y'all to come in, because I'm trying to hook y'all asses, right? That's the bait to come in, try to snatch that light of Elijah out of you. Well, devils ain't devils. I don't know where he got that shit from. We ain't going nowhere. Matter how many the fuck he talking about. We stand here. That's Farrakhan's message. See? And if you ain't believing in him and got your head up his ass, then he praying a lot of the worms eat your ass. That's his message. Tell him lying. $5,000 if anything I just said was untrue. Prove it. Move on. Okay, I thought I took this out. Let me do this. I want to bypass the bus. I want to get to my main point. Well, maybe not. Let me back up here. The point is the war started, brothers and sisters. Abomination of desolation. See, the only sign given this wicked generation besides Jonah, that's the devil's. The sign I'm giving you is abomination of desolation. That's your light. Telling you red light is about to come on. See? What's the red light? Danger light. It's like they're going to come after you. Shut you down. You're about to give birth. They're going to abort you. And abomination desolation. It's going on right now. Just look up abomination. The uprising was put down with great cruelty that's happening. It would happen over in Israel. In Jerusalem. How clear can it be? It said abomination desolation would happen over in Jerusalem. And there are people that shouldn't be there. Who shouldn't be there? Who shouldn't be there? False Israel. That's where it occurs. Where uprising occurred? That's so-called August 7th, 2023. Who's putting it down? With great cruelty, genocide. How simple can it be? How clear can it be? But they can't tell you that. They even know it, they can't tell you. The devils know that's what it is. They can't tell you what it is. Because they've been telling you it's the other way around. They've been telling you, look, the abomination desolation, because that's when you see that. See, they would the way they characterize it, we said, Jesus gonna be here in a minute. So what happened? Jesus gonna be in a minute. Because the abomination desolation is everybody's gonna have the false Jews surround it. And they go beating them and tormenting them and genocide and everything to them. And when because the Jews hate Jesus, right? According to the Bible, according to him, right? But they said, Jesus said, you synagogue of Satan. That's why it was them that had him crucified, right? That's what the Bible says. If the Jews crucified him, they hated him. And for 2,000 years, the Christians and Jews been at war with each other. In the 30s, they was about to call it final solution. They was burning them all up. They were going to get rid of them. They all said, oh, no, they become buddies. Because Elijah Muhammad says, no, they're wrong. They're not true to Abraham. We are. They say, oh, no, we can't have that. Because vision unites people. And Elijah Muhammad was uniting people when they have vision. So it's all of a sudden they stop loving false Israel. No, set them up. Set them up. And the story that's going now is when you say abomination desolation, that means they're about to be destroyed. And they're going to call on Jesus last minute. Just before, when they're all down and all hope is lost, they will say, oh, gee, then they're going to call on Jesus. Oh, we believe you now. And he's going to come back and save them. That's the rapture. And kill all the Muslims, the Arabs over there. And Satan will be let loose, and all the Christians in America going to be raptured into heaven. That's the bullshit they've been telling you. Go John Impey, Hagen, all them guys. That's the story. See, when you see Jewish tribal armies, that means everybody's coming against false Israel. I mean, yeah, but it's not that way, is it? Everybody's coming against it. The Palestinians, they're the ones who were put down. They was uprising. There was uprising. There's no Jewish uprising. The uprising was the Arabs. And they put it down with great cruelty. It's the opposite way they were saying it. So, something's wrong here. It's supposed to be the other way around. And those who bless Israel be blessed. Those who curse Israel be cursed. But hey, something wrong here. It's the other way around. They're the ones that's doing it. That means they're not Israel. That's what Jesus said. They're synagogue of Satan. Oh, we've been blessing the wrong people. They've been cursing the wrong people. Because if they're not them, Elijah's right. Them niggas are Israel. And we're cursing them. Who blesses will be blessed. Who curses will. See, that's the story. They can't go and tell you that's the bondage of slavery because they have to admit that that's not Israel. That's real over there. And if they're not false, because they did it, they keep you from realizing who you are. So if they're not, then you have to be. And if you realize that, you'll start coming together. Because vision unite people. That's the story. They can't tell you that. And these so-called preachers out there, they're all demons. They house niggas, right? Who now, they can't live off massa anymore. Massa, you got to live off them niggas. You ain't living off us. See, when we was in the fields, they live off massa. There was a massa house, they lived off of massa. The massa living off us. It's piggybacking off of massa who was eating off us. The last wouldn't eat off us anymore. They said, well, you ain't gonna, what we're going to do, Master? You ain't eat off us no more. We ain't eat off of them. At least not from that way. So you eat off them directly. And that's what they do. All these politicians, so-called Black Caucus, these damn actors. I mean, how can you make a movie like Roots, Devon Burton? This dude call yourself Burton. You call yourself Burton, but you got the story, see how the story went down. They beat your name out of you, and then you're gonna still walk around call myself Burton, Master's name. And you got what's his name? Denzel. He played a slave. They beat it out of him. He still calls himself Washington. Washington. Snipes. Kevin Hart. You don't get it? They're all demons. That's their real names. Because Master's their daddy. They show that in Durango. Durango, whatever the name of the thing was. He was DiCaprio's brother. That's why he was so comfortable with him. They're the same daddy. He hated niggers, didn't he? I hate niggers too. I love original big people. But you know what the niggers are? They're the devils. How do you know? Look at the manufacturer. You understand what the product is by looking at the manufacturer. So who you blame the product, you blame the manufacturer, you blame the product. So if that's what they produce niggers, they must be the niggers. Those angels, they would produce angels. They're the niggers. Because what we are is what they made. That's what they made. They made niggers. They made us into what we are. What you call yourself? You call yourself Kuta Kinti? You call yourself Abdul Rahman? No. You call yourself Jimmy Shitass. Jimmy Bubbleneck. Nancy Apple Nose. I got a cross around your neck. Ain't your religion. Ain't your name. They made us what we are. We ain't blaming us. We submit to them. But let's get straight. They're the niggers. Because they produce niggers. If we niggers, they produce niggers. That's not the shape we was in when we came here. That's not the form we was in when we came here. They dragged us here. I'm not saying we came, they dragged their boys here. So now, look at, you want to know, if the wind's blowing, look at the leaves. Then you see leaves moving, you know the wind's blowing. You know which way the direction is blowing. Where the wind's blowing, that direction the leaves are shaking. So look at us. So you know, look at us, And see, the nature of the manufacturer. Manufacturer. Let's hope I destroy anything here. So it's telling you here, abomination will kick off the apocalypse. Abomination will kick off the war in heaven. Master fraud, Michael's angels will go against the dragons. That's already happened. That's happening right now. It said there'd be a pause for about 6 months. Silence in heaven. And right on time, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. It start. And so right now, it's about to resume. When hell break through, that's what it's talking right here. See? And the Son of Man, set that face against God, the land of Magog. Gog is America. See, I'm going to talk about that sealed Bible stuff, right? Gog is America. Magog means the mother of Gog. Where did Gog come from? Came out of Britain. It's mother of Gog. See? So God said, he says, face against you. The Son of Man, set your face against them. You put a hook in their jaw. I explained that yesterday, so you can look it up. See? God hates them. Say, I am against you. But he's supposed to be in sync with God. He's the Messiah. He's supposed to be in submission to God's will. But God says, hey, Son of Man, set face against God, the chief, right? Prophesies against him, say, saith the Lord God, behold, I am against you, Gog. I'm against you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. I thought you were submission to, I thought you were Messiah. Messiah delivers people, but you're not going to deliver us anywhere. Because you say, we ain't going nowhere. I love you, Gog. I'm against you, Gog. I'm against you. Okay? You can read the rest on leisure. For a hook in your jaw. Here's again. Oh, okay. Well, let me go see it. I went there. Let me go see the previous one. That's their Lord, behold, I'm against thee. See, it identifies it gives you another identity of Gog. I'm against thee. Same one, Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Now, we recognize, they admit, this is us. Pharaoh is the Trump. Trump is the Pharaoh right now. This is where we are, in captivity in Egypt, spiritually. I'm against you. Oh, no. Oh, so you're going to, because he already said that if America is attacked, remember, now God, Pharaoh kind of said it, we're going to defend America. America belongs to us. But the Father of America says America will be attacked by God. So we've been fighting against God for you, Farrakhan? Can you add up? Can you add subtract? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I'm against you. Not for you. You know what against means? Okay, let's move into the main subject here. This is what I want to talk about, brothers and sisters. I'm trying to give you understand your creation, how things work. So I'm going to give you a general. Now, there's such things called frequency, wavelength, and amplitude. Now, all our bodies are based on that. All our cells and everything has a certain frequency, wavelength, and amplitude. We have genes. Your thoughts, wavelength. Your thoughts are frequency, wavelength, and frequency, wavelength, amplitude. Yeah, that's everything right there. Right? Your cells communicate with each other. And that's why you get upset about this 5G and everything else. Says, oh, that affects us because we have our system is based, atoms and everything operate on that principle. Okay? So the thing is, I'm giving an example here. See up top there? That there amplitude, I show you, amplitude is how strong it is. So see, the higher the strong, the higher that shows amplitude. You know, the taller they are. Right? The next one, they have the same wavelength, but shorter, so it has less amplitude. If you look at the bottom, one top, one on the bottom, one top and one in the middle, they have the same wavelength, it's just different amplitude, because one has more amplitude than the other. See? It's like we'll leave it like that. Okay. You see? But down at the bottom, you have frequency. Now, frequency is like, you're saying, okay, how many persons come into Walmart every minute? See? So if 10, that frequency is 10. If it's 100, frequency is 100. If it's 1, frequency is 100. That's frequency. Right? Okay. So, look at top there. Say that's our natural, for instance, say that's our natural frequency, wavelength, amplitude. Between that, say that's for one period of time. One period of time, that's our frequency. So look at it compared to the rest. Well, on that, he got a lower amplitude. He got the same frequency. He got the same wavelength, but he got a lower frequency. Excuse me, he's got a lower wavelength. He got the same wavelength, but a lower amplitude. The one in the center where it says wavelength. One on the bottom, right? It has, right, a very low frequency. See? But see, if you go in there, see, if you count the top of the mountains, each one of those, it's in the same period of time, you got less. In other words, this Walmart got 10 people coming every minute, right? And what's the other one? Walmart and I can't think of the name of another one, right? We're another store, right? Another chain, right? They got Walmart got somebody come every 10 minutes. What's that one that used to have no, they have that anymore, do they? Say Target. Okay, Walmart got somebody come every 10 minutes, 10 people every minute. Target, somebody come in 1 minute, one person every minute, right? I'm saying, so Walmart has a higher frequency because they got 10 people come every minute. Target has one person every minute. You understand? Okay. So what happens is take energy. The more energy you have, the greater your amplitude going to be, the greater your wavelength is going to be, the greater your frequency going to be. More energy. So say at the top right there is our natural energy, our natural state. Natural state. But because energy deprivation, we start, we kept the same frequency, but now our amplitude went down. We don't have enough energy to maintain our wavelength anymore. And eventually, we couldn't even maintain the frequency. So now at the bottom, say that's the frequency. We are doing energy deprivation. That means if you look at our thoughts, see our difference in our thoughts? Thinking was one way up there, and got weaker and weaker until down here it's like very weak because we have enough energy to maintain that top. See? That's our natural state. So we down here. Keep that in mind. Understand that. I hope you understand that. Top here represents, I'm giving it analogy here. Top represents our natural state, natural wavelength, frequency, and amplitude. But then we start getting weaker and less energy, so our amplitude went down. We kept the same frequency. Same frequency, right? Same wavelength. The amplitude went down. The same wavelength, same frequency, and just the wavelength went down. And have enough energy to maintain. Excuse me. All right. Amplitude went down. I need to stop. I'm getting this. Look, let me say this again slowly. I got so many things I want to say, so I'm not going to make an excuse here. At this point at the top here, this is our amplitude, frequency, and wavelength for one period of time. For the same period of time, right, as energy deprivation, we have enough energy to maintain this level. So now our amplitude went down. We had to maintain the same wave, the same frequency. Our amplitude just went down. But as energy decreased, we couldn't maintain the same wavelength either. Couldn't even maintain this. So now our frequency went down. So now we're down here. We got low frequency, right? Low amplitude and low wavelength. That's where we're right now. So our thinking is on this level. Now, what kind of thinking would you have if you're on this level? So you have different next level. Now, scriptures are written because when they give you a scripture like the Quran says, the scripture is giving you, that scripture is That's why scripture look different. It's not the same, it's different all the time. Because it's written on a different wavelength frequency for the time that you're moving into. You're moving into this frequency zone, this amplitude zone, this wavelength zone, and this level. And so it's telling you. So now you start, if you got the energy, you start doing what it tells you so you can achieve that wavelength, that amplitude, that frequency, so you could be in sync with that time and successful. That's what scriptures do. That's why it's written like it's written. So you get into it, you study it, and it tells you, do this. This is what you need to do to get this wavelength. See, because if we operate on that wavelength up top there, and try to operate down here when everything's on this frequency at the bottom, we'd be messed up. We're going to have energy to make. If we try to maintain, if we try to follow the knowledge of scripture that has on that wavelength on top, on that frequency on top, and the amplitude on top, and that wave on top, we wouldn't survive. Because it's like you're in the summer, and man, you run around, man, you got your little swimming trunks on, and you jump in the water, and you're doing your thing right. And then you're going to try to maintain the same activity in the wintertime? You're going to freeze to death. It ain't going to work. Well, I mean, the book told me, man, this is what you need to do. Yeah, that's told for that was for the summer, fool. It won't work for the winter. The crown was for the winter, fool. It's not for the summer, fool. See, everybody tell you, that's why everybody come when they get their book. I got my book in the spring, man. When summer come, hey man, spring book's on the book. That was the book for the spring, fool. You know, Mama told you keep getting scriptures when the time comes for that scripture to be revealed. But no, the last book. What about the book before that? No, when summer come in, okay, you come with a message, say, here's what you need to do for summer. But you fool, I'm going to hold on to the spring. I don't want to hear that, man. I hold on to the spring, we hold on to it. Maybe you might survive a while. Then when fall comes, they give you that one, that book. Then you move to be set for the fall. And then for spring, summer, when winter comes, when Adam came on the scene, make men shed blood, winter, okay, now you got to follow that guidance. Submit to that. I ain't going to submit to that. Well, okay, then you're a fool then. You stick right here. So you're the jinn, you're going to get your ass kicked, Sunni Arabs. You understand? The scriptures for that wavelength, that frequency, amplitude, for that period of time. So if you adapt to that, if you're a believer, you believe it, and so you're successful. If you're a disbeliever, that means you didn't adapt to it, or you couldn't adapt to it, and so therefore you're unsuccessful, and you're not around for that period of time. You understand? Okay. That's the Bible. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Now, here's Adam, here's the demons, and here's the saints. Now, when we produce Adam, who's on this wavelength up here when we produce Adam? We're descending. We produce Adam is on that wavelength. On the way down, we produce Adam. We didn't wait till you get to the bottom. We produce Adam on the way down. So we was on this wave. We was reduced to this wavelength, this frequency, this amplitude, and we brought Adam out ourselves. But he can maintain that because he didn't require as much energy as we. Remember, I told you because he's a weaker being, so he had to have discipline, but he could maintain that level. But we couldn't, so we kept descending because we still weak. Right? We had ability of nature, but we didn't have enough energy to maintain that. So therefore, we kept descending. So now, because that frequency wave, that tells how much power you have. The power comes from here. So their thinking was superior. That's why he said, I taught Adam all the names, everything. Right? At that time. He told where the angels were at that time, so I taught Adam all the names and everything else. So he put them on the same frequency they was on. He put them on the same frequency they was on at that time. He said, you submit. And just, no, I'm going to do it. And then we descended in submission. But Adam, he made the ruler. But he had high frequency, high wavelength, high amplitude. That's because we descended, we got weaker. We couldn't maintain right? Because we're more complex beings, so we needed more energy. We couldn't maintain that level. So they have control over our thinking, because they think on a higher level than us. It tells you. That's why it says, I told Adam all your names. And you don't even know them now. You got to read this thing to understand it. So that's what happened. So we just send it down. So Adam rules. Now, see, the demons here, see, they're on the same wavelength and same frequency. Only difference, they have a little higher amplitude. Like I said, because they got a little, some of us in them. They got a little higher amplitude than their devil. They got same nature, same wavelength, same frequency. It's just a little higher amplitude. Just a little. Well, hey, see, Saint's still going down there, so low down there. Look, amplitude is very low, frequency is very low, right? And wavelength, very weak. But demons, they stay up there with the daddy. Is it? See? You understand? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So here's Adam. They stay the same wavelength, same frequency, just demons have a little higher amplitude. Because they got some of us in them. Which means they're a little weaker energetically, but they have enough energy to maintain this. Just have, let me move, have the, well, I shouldn't talk guns. Okay. You have internal energy, external energy. Okay. If you require 1,000 units of energy a day to maintain yourself, you only got 900. That means you don't have enough to maintain yourself. But if you got 1,200, that means you got to maintain yourself, and 200 to maintain things outside. That's double because they have lower. Like if you got a Lamborghini and you got a Volkswagen Beetle, right? You got a Lamborghini, your brother got a Volkswagen Beetle, and you make $100. You make $100 a day, so to speak, right? But it costs $90 a day to maintain that Lamborghini. You know, $10 a day to make. Well, you look. Well, you know, $10 a day, you only make $100. Well, you got $90 left to do other things with if you got that Volkswagen Beetle. But if you got a Lamborghini, you got any money for anything else. So you can't do anything. You got to stay in the house and watch that Lamborghini. Other guy, he can go around town because he can still get around. He can do everything a Lamborghini does. It just ain't the nicest Lamborghini. You understand? That's why they have the same nature. They just have a little more amplitude because they came out of us. But that means they have less energy for other things outside because they need a little more energy to maintain inside. Okay? Than the devils do. Because they're a little more complicated because they got some of us in them. But they still have the nature of the daddies. See? Same frequency, same wavelength, just high amplitude. You see here? Now, Master Muhammad and his angels, they have the same frequency, the same wavelength as us. They have a lower amplitude. I'm talking about. Well, let me say it again a different way. They have a high amplitude right now. I'm just saying, our nature. When we get to our full nature, they can get up to this level, but the amplitude can't get up to high amplitude. See, in other words, our amplitude can get up to 1,000. Theirs can only get maybe 900. Because they have a weaker nature. Because remember, they're hybrid. They got mixed with devils, right? But they're original. Right? So it has same nature. That's why it's one body. The ark is one body. See, your body, your cells have to have the same amplitude, wavelength, frequency, because they have to communicate with each other. If they don't, you have cancer. Cells have to communicate with each other. Your heart communicates with your lungs and everything else. Also, a communication system. The communication system is based on amplitude, frequency, and wavelength. Okay? So our body, our nation operates on a certain frequency, wavelength, and amplitude. The devils are on a different one. Now, devils have control of us because we was on lower wavelength, amplitude, and frequency than them, so they have control over us. But when we start energizing, then there's a conflict. See? Well, there was a conflict all the time, but it was in their favor. But they was forcing us. They put pressure on us, forcing us act like they want us to act. But now we get more energy, so we push it back. It's conflict. You understand? See? But our nature, we can go to the maximum amplitude, frequency, and Master Muhammad, and they can go. They have the same nature. It's just the amplitude is limited. But right now, that's where they'll rule for the next 6,000 years. But after 6,000 years, we have enough energy. We're gonna move to a higher amplitude than them, and then we'll kingdom be brought back to us again. You understand? Now, when you understand this, remember, your thoughts are also based on your thoughts is totally in sync with your nature. I mean, with the level, your frequency, wave. Because remember, your thoughts is one that connects your body. So your thoughts is going to be on the same wavelength, same amplitude, same frequency as the rest of your body is. So that's why we think we wouldn't think about anything. And the one way you control that, remember, it takes energy to move to get greater frequency, the greater wavelength, greater amplitude. You take more, the more frequency, more energy you have, the more discipline you have, the more you can increase that. The more energy you have, the more discipline you have. So the point they keep us from discipline because they want us to keep our wavelength and frequency and amplitude lower than theirs. So we don't, instead of using that, that's why we sick. Because if brain is sick, your body's gonna be sick too. That's why I got high blood pressure, we got diabetes and every damn thing else. Because they got operating on a lower frequency, wavelength, amplitude that we could be acting on, but we have to, because they keep us from having discipline. And so we stay lower than them. So our bodies operate on a negative frequency, negative wavelength, and negative amplitude. So we all messed up. When you start playing down discipline, then you start moving to a higher. That means more power, more mental power. And they don't want that because then you overwhelm theirs. I'm trying to give it to you in this sense, in these terms. Right? So you see, Master Muhammad, like I said, he operates. He's of our body. But right now, because we're still energy deprivation, right? They have because they have the dual nature. They don't require as much energy that we do, so they can take and apply more of it to increase their amplitude, frequency, and wavelength. But over ours, so they still have control. They have control over the next 6,000 years. They don't require as much energy we do. In 6,000 years, we can move to the next level, which they cannot. They still have the same nature. It's just that we have the higher amplitude, means the higher power. That's why Elijah Muhammad said the kingdom will be given back to Shabazz after 6,000 years. Right now, they have the highest amplitude because they don't require as much energy as we do, so they have a high amplitude. You understand? Right now, but you understand? Okay. Now that's that. He's causing the problem for the devils and demons. But it's power for them. But then Elijah came, and Elijah started moving you by discipline. That was the problem because you was causing the problem for them. Because by discipline, you was moving to a higher amplitude. You understand? Higher frequency. He was moving towards Master Muhammad. But he came and showed you, when he gave you lessons, that lesson based on the frequency, amplitude, right? Start moving you towards, right, to the one that the angel is the one that gives you actual amplitude and everything you need to get to the hereafter, to think on that level. Otherwise, if you go to hereafter, you still think on that lower level, you're going to act on that lower level. You will not understand what's going on there. You'll be like an animal. If you got to be operating on the same wavelength, frequency, at minimum, and amplitude, in order to fit in with everybody else. So devils, they'll be reduced to beasts. But they can't get to that level. See, that's why I was given a sealed Bible. You say, think about it. The sealed Bible, is it sealed? The sealed Bible, is it sealed? I mean, you can see it right there. All the truth is right there. Once you get the angel key, are you see it? Well, I mean, I didn't change any words in the Bible. Why is it sealed? How is it sealed? It's sealed because it's written on an amplitude wavelength that they cannot achieve. So they can't figure it out. You understand? That's how it's sealed. And we'll know that you have, because that's the frequency and wavelength and amplitude you need to survive, be successful in the next season. That's what you need. So if you can't do it, that means if you're a disbeliever, that means a disbeliever is somebody can't adopt to the message that the prophet or messenger came with. That's what a disbeliever is. It don't say disbelieve in God. They disbelieve in that frequency message because they can't comprehend it. They didn't say disbelieve in somebody who don't believe in God. They didn't say that. The jinn, right? Did jinn believe in God, didn't they? But they were disbelievers, weren't they? They believed in God. We're going to keep doing what you... In fact, there was even more than that. They said, we're going to keep doing what you had doing before. We love the way you do things. We're going to keep doing... We're going to keep following your old example. He said, hell with you. I got a new example, and you better submit to it. Wait, man, you telling us to go down to something less than whatever. We got to see somebody make mischief. That's not great with your authority. That's not worshiping you. You're trying to submit to a wicked person. I don't care what. That's what you have to do, because that's the frequency of wavelength that will be successful for the next 5,000 to 6,000 years. I mean, in that case, it's talking about 500 years. That's the wavelength, and who's been successful in the last 500 years? You say nothing happened at the will of Allah. So that means that they were successful because Allah willed them to be successful. If you want to go that route, who's been successful? The Europeans have been. What wavelength and frequency operating on that? Still Bible. Not the Quran. What frequency the Arabs are working on? Old frequency. Is it working? No. Is it working for them? No. Because that's not that's the winter. That's the fall frequency, and then winter now. So you tell me I don't hear about all the knowledge of what fall, winter. I need to know what's happening now in the winter. You understand? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I don't know if you understand this or not. It's not now. This is the way things work. Actually, I'm just giving it to you in a simple way. Now here's Master from Muhammad, right? Okay, well I didn't put a note there. See where arrow is? See that's Elijah raising us up, because he prepared the way for the message of the covenant, right? So he started to tell you discipline. Forget about NFL and NBA, all that bullshit, partying, and discipline yourself, eat 1 meal a day, discipline yourself. So now you can move to a higher frequency. Now you can understand the lessons. Because those clown Farrakhan, they don't understand the lessons. They're totally against them. Preparing you. See? But demons and they're still down that level down there. See, we're moving up now. That means it's getting worse, hard and hard for them. We put more and more pressure on them. So-called civil rights and everything else, put more pressure on them. You understand? And so they're resisting it. That's what they're doing right now. They're fighting back. That's resisting because we're putting more and more pressure on them. So the thing is, they're trying to keep you distracted. They keep you from using that snuff out. Because it's the discipline. See, as long as they had discipline, they kept us on low frequency, low wavelength amplitude, because we had a frequency. So we was blowing up, just investing our money in bullshit, our energy in bullshit. Elijah Muhammad came and said, so they had snuffed it out. That's why Pharaoh comes in. No, you ain't got no promise land. You ain't going nowhere. We love it here. Tear discipline away from you. Scientology. I told you I was over there. I went over there for a year or so, see what they was doing. And they had this young brother. I don't know if his brother or not, but most probably a demon. He was the captain. He had to be in his 20s. He had gout. I was talking, I said, brother, you okay? Yeah, man, I got gout, man. I says, you got gout? You mean that 1 meal a day is not working for you? You mean that stuff really works? That's what he said to me. See, they give you an image. That's not what they're doing. They're not eating 1 meal a day. They tell you think Farrakhan, how you think guy's ass blood with cancer, 55 years old? They're not doing that. They give you Scientology. When you talk to them in private, they tell you about L. Ron Hubbard and engrams, all that bullshit. They don't believe it. Just look at the lessons of what they say. They're totally against the lesson. Let's say the devil is 100% wicked, 100%, cannot be reformed. Farrakhan said just the opposite. Right? The whole idea is to snuff out the light of Elijah. That's what Farrakhan did to do. Using Elijah as a bait, because that's he. Why? Because it's Elijah Muhammad's followers, people associated with Elijah, they had the light. That's why you want to catch trout, you got to use bait for trout. Okay, it's mulligan, you got to use bait for mullet. You understand? Snapper, you got to use bait for snapper. Move on, brothers and sisters. You see here? Now, it's positive and negative. When you have a full wave, you have the positive side and the negative side. The Quran says everything comes in pairs. Now watch this. Watch this carefully. Yeah, it's separated. So now there's the positive side and the negative side. It's two sides of it. That's happening in gender. See? So we separate. So the female has the opposite frequency, same wavelength, same frequency. The amplitude is a little lower because we had the strength, they had the beauty, but same wavelength, same frequency. That's why we're compatible. We're same. We're separated, equal. When the Quran talks about 1 degree above, they're talking about the strength. So that's what amplitude and strength, where there's a little more amplitude than they do, but everything else, same. They're equal. Right? Some of us have different amplitudes. So, say, for instance, you got a range. So you say, some people have amplitude of 100, some have 99, some 88, 77. That means you have a male that has amplitude of 100, and a female has an amplitude of 100. They're compatible. You got a male that's amplitude 50, female amplitude 50. So they don't have an amplitude as the ones 100, but they're equal. They're on the same side. It's not like all men have 100 and women have 20. The men above. It's not like that. It's like a stair step. So some women, right? You got men. Some women operate on high intellectual state, and they got men and women. They're on the same level. And then, but both of them are smart and some on a lower level. So the women on the 10th floor is higher than the women on the 8th floor, and the men on the 8th floor. Then you're like, oh, all the men on the 10th floor and the women on the 2nd floor. No, you got men and women that's on the 10th floor, and they're above the people that both of them above the men and women on the 9th floor. That's the way it works. But you can't tell me that the dumbest man in the world is smarter than the smartest woman. You know that's not right. We gotta get this right. Anyway, I'm trying to explain this to you in a mathematical way, bro. Says catching on or not. Watch this. See, male, female. They're separated. We put them together. That's a full. See, that's the way wavelengths work. Frequency. Got positive side and got a negative side. We did the same thing with the brain. We did spatial and technological, analytical. See? And that's what we did. So when you look at the method of covenant, that's why you have two there. See, one is very technical and one is very spatial. Spatial is angel. It's the spatial side of it that nobody could touch. but him and the ones on that level, the spatial, the elect, and those that go to tribulation that come. Remember, they don't have to have the same amplitude, but they have to have the same frequency and wavelength. That's why it says they only have to have those two books. They have to wash their blood and blood of the Lamb, wash their robes and blood of the Lamb. See? So they're not required to have the same amplitude, but they're required to have the same frequency and wavelength. So I'm telling them. That's why I go to tribulation. That's why you see them on the lower level of the ark, because the highest amplitude was on the top. Next was next, so forth, so on. Yeah. Okay. So you got spatial and analytical. Two sides. Space and that spatial is. See, because Master Palmer got technical marvel they can't touch. And through them I had a spatial wheel. Both of them called wheels. I didn't hit on that the other day because when you look at the wheel that Enrico had, that was a wheel, but that's it. I talked about it. I didn't make that point. That's a wheel too. That's the wheel that Ezekiel's talking about. The angel key, both wheels. And one's a spatial wheel and one's a technical wheel. Now they can't touch either one of them. But they can with the say. But see, like I said, the sealed Bible. What was the seal? All the truth is right there. It's put on a level. The bacon is written on a level, right? But the guy them for that season. But if you read like they read it, that's a season. How you know it's right? Because they were successful with it for 500 years. Hinduism was successful. Confucianism was successful. Sunnism, none of that was successful. Who was successful? The Christians that follow the Sealed Bible. But that's the wavelength that you need to be, frequency that you need to be successful. Now, that siege is over. Now we have to move to the next level. Master Problem is on. Right? And just go to the lower level of it. You have to move the same, right? So we have to, right now, because we operate on a very low frequency and very low wavelength. Because we don't have discipline. When we have discipline, we come together as a seething great army. I mean, now we're in a higher frequency, higher wavelength that's greater than theirs. That's what we're trying to stop. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm sure you guys, it's all mathematics, brothers and sisters. This is not just analogy. This is the way it works. I just ain't giving the actual numbers. That's the way it works. That's the model. Okay, I thought I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. But anyway, the war is on now. Everything's going to change. Everything's going to change in a few more days, maybe a few more hours. Okay. But what you see right now is capitalism, democracy. That way of thinking is the wavelengths and frequency are there. And that's the way you think if you're in a wavelength frequency. And so you see a lot of black folk that think like that. Why? Are you successful with it? Maybe they're demons. Once you start operating on a high, remember your thoughts reflect the frequency and wavelength you're on, and amplitude, mostly the frequency and wavelength. So that shows that's the frequency and wavelength you operate on. You get an angel, you operate on a high frequency. You have to operate because it's built. The only way you can understand, you have to be operating on wavelength, the frequency that the book was written on. There's a frequency and wavelength there. That's the way it's written. Without that that's why it's blocked out to the devils because they cannot achieve. Even if they use all the energy, they cannot, because that's not their nature. They cannot. It's locked. It's sealed to them. It's sealed to them. They cannot, and sealed to demons too. But right now, why are they attracted to Farrakhan? Because they're on the same wavelength freaks. Those people, Farrakhan, they're on the same wavelength. They understand him. That makes sense to them. You look at it once you start operating on higher wavelength and frequency. That's some dumb shit there. You see it, but they don't see it that way. The devils don't see what they're saying. Democracy, oh, that's the greatest thing ever happened. They're trying to force everybody to do it. They're trying to force everybody else to say wavelength frequency. You understand? The way you think depends on the wavelength frequency you're on. And so those concepts are built for that low frequency and that wavelength. But once you get, then you see it. Because the Bible don't talk about that kind of nonsense, capitalism and democracy, all that kind of stuff. But that's what they see because that's the frequency wavelength. And that makes sense to them. Makes total sense. And you can't talk them out of it. Because what you're seeing, the words, but you don't see the math behind it. The math is just, that's reflection of frequency and wavelength they're on. That's what it is. If you have frequency wavelength, that's the way you're going to think. That's the way you're going to see the world. But when you move to the Injil, you're going to see the world totally different. So people that's original and discipline themselves, they can see this. So far, I don't think anybody can see it yet. What's different? Well, that I remember tell it back. It says some saw it, they didn't do anything. Remember, they saw it, they had no spirit. They didn't do anything with it. They had the 4 winds to burn their ass, then he started acting. So you can see it, but do you do anything with it? Does it motivate you? Hope you understand, brother and sister. So the thing is, it tells you abomination, desolation, that started, that's been going on, that's side you, but they keep you blind to it. But they said when they found out that it was backwards, they realized who you are. They can't tell you about that because that would reveal who they are. And that revealed to you that false Israel is going to be destroyed. Because you see, abomination, desolation says their destruction is near. They're going to be destroyed. They're destroyed. That means they couldn't possibly see to Abraham. Pharaoh could not see Abraham either because he says he misses follows the devil. So you can see if false Israel goes down, it means they couldn't possibly see Abraham. Because when they said return, they build a kingdom that's going to last forever. It means that you have to be, because you got to follow your history. Everything happened around time. COVID happened around time. 1619 to 2019, 400 years, exactly 2020, the first plague that killed the firstborn and passed over us. COVID, exactly what it did. The firstborn is the elderly. It was wiping out the elderly, and it passed over us. It passed over Black Africa, it passed over Haiti, it passed over us. It was demons they was killing. But they're saying they should die. Don't take my word for it. Look up the World Health Organization. They hid it, but you go out there and look, and it tells you Black Africa was not affected by COVID. They didn't do social distancing. They didn't take vaccines or anything. It didn't bother like it didn't even happen. But it passed over us. It didn't bother me. We're wiping out them. It's wiping out false Israel too. Right on time. Just like this happened right on time too. What broke out? I was talking about this war. A couple years ago, it was a war in the Middle East. And I said, okay. And then said to be a pause. Stopped for about 6 months. Exactly. They went to war. 2025 was attacked. Take 6 months from there. July, August, September, October, November, December. And right away, January, they start talking about attacking again. And now they're building to get ready to attack. That's what's going to happen. When they go, even the devil saying, that's into false Israel. It is. Into America too. That's going to kick off Armageddon. The point is, their destruction, your birth are simultaneous. Why is that? Because your birth is their destruction. And they know that. So in order to save themselves, they have to prevent your birth. Does that make sense? They have to prevent your birth, abort you. That's why they're going to attack you when false Israel is down. You see it's down and out. They're going to attack you because they realize your birth, Babylon was destroyed in the day and you was born in the day. So anybody heard such a thing? Your birth is their destruction. They're going to attack you to prevent your birth. It says the dragon stood by to devour the child as soon as born. You have to understand what a dragon is. That's what's going on, brothers and sisters. It's happening any day now. They ain't telling you about it. And it's sad because if somebody's sitting around and waiting, and so, but you're going to flee and panic, some of you not going to make it. Because they say it's going to be the panic is so great, you can't go in your house, get your clothes. That means you can't go in and get your kids, you can't go in and get your baby, you can't go in. What is that? When you out there in Walmart, and all of a sudden, you find out you're under attack. Uh-oh. Everything happened just like he said. America just got kicked, got their ass kicked in the Middle East. They're kicked out of there. Communists collapsing. They come after you because they're going to announce it on the radio. Get rid of, kill all blacks, and all these devils going to be on board with that. And you can't go home. And you better not be in Walmart either because they kicked. You better be out because you didn't pay attention. If you pay attention right now, right, you'll be preparing to flee. You'll be watching, but you're not doing that. So you don't know. So when you see it, okay, that means it's almost too late because now you ain't got time to prepare. You got to run immediately. You can't go back in your house. It says run. You can't go in your house, get your clothes. You can't do anything. Just run, flee. Why you feel like that? Because they're attacking you. If you're out in the suburbs, how do you think you're going to get out of there? You think you're going to get out of there in time? They ain't the police after you. And it ain't something they had to think of. It's something they already had planned. And so they said, okay, let me explain this a little bit of this thing, brothers and sisters. I keep telling you, they said in there, I'm not going to show it, I'm going to close in a minute. They tell you, they said they're going to act shrewd, they're going to sneak, they're setting up a trap for you. And Trump, if you analyze what he's doing, well, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this thing in Minneapolis? Because they got a big Somali community there. What he said? He says, we're going to send all the Somalis back. They can't just say get all blacks because that'll alert you. All Somalis, we're all blacks. That's why he's focused there because that's a trial. That's a trial balloon. A trial balloon. See? That's why they got. Who's responsible for that thing in Gaza? That's America. America's supplying the good bullets, the guns, everything. Falsers just pulling the triggers. Who's responsible then? All they got to do is stop giving the guns and the bullets, and it will stop. America's doing that's a trial because that's what they're practicing when you go for a fight or you go for like a football game, you a contest, whatever. You first train, you practice on dummies. You get people trained, ready for it. So when time comes for the game, right, game day, then you're ready, man. You're fired up, you're ready, you know what to do. That's what they're doing. It's all this immigration stuff. It's about teaching them how to round up people and to be cold-blooded about it. They're always telling you. They see a bunch of white people and black people together, step and say, tell the black people to show their ID. Don't ask the white people. You just pay attention to the news. Instead of watching NFL. Most of watch NFL can't even spell NFL. And then these camps, the detention centers, they don't need them anymore. They can just ship them right out of here. But they got them because they round you up. Then they can take prisoners. Who takes into prison? They take prisoners and send them directly south out of the country. American citizens. You think you can't put this two and two together? Then they got the guy. So and news ain't say anything about it. They're killing women, children every day like a drink of water. And nobody's saying anything because all this is designed and nobody's trying to stop Trump either because they're all on board. Why are they trying to stop him? Because they get ready to do genocide on your ass. You get ready to ship if you already got your ass in prison, they're going to ship your ass out of here. Outside of a prison somewhere. And what are they going to do? Okay, I wasn't going to get to this. I told you before, I said they got these sonic, I'm not going to play it. They got these sonic weapons. They got, right now, they're using one on you right now, but you don't know it. They put it in the music. They still have the music because they already found what kind of music make you complacent. So So in other words, you see, it's like you know, you put somebody anesthesia, so now you operate them and they don't feel it. But they're the knife, they're on the table. You can kill them everything. They won't feel a damn thing. They'll take your word that you're going to wake them back up. Same thing. So they put it in music. So that's one of the reasons why you can play, you ain't paying attention while they're easing up on you. And you just jump into smoke. And they got actors out there, demons pushing that. And then they talking about they use one. I told you weeks ago they had sign. They said that's what they use down in Venezuela. They got one that put fear in you. I said they put music. It's in the music. It's in sound waves. They also got. I'm not going to talk about that. I shouldn't even mention it. I'm going to talk about it next time if I remember. Right. Wave sonic weapons. Weather. Right. That's a big story, and that's a big story, and you can go check this out, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm saying, sound waves, they're trying to master them and use it against you right now in the music. That's one of the reasons why people are so complacent and just asleep. Because they make sure that those beats and notes and everything is instilled into the music. They got one that puts so much fear in you that you run. If you do turn to arm, you just run. As soon as they blast it, it's just something comes over you. And that's what's happening in Venezuela. Something similar to that. They did some kind of sonic thing, and people got terrorized and started throwing up and all kinds of stuff. I told you weeks ago that they had this, and now they're revealing it. It's not going to work against you if you follow 5 pills and you listen to this message. I don't want your money. I don't want their followers. I'm here to get information. And let me tell you, me and my wife were walking this morning, and I was explaining to her. I said, once I said, God, those come to save you. Nobody's come here to save you. They come and tell you information to save yourself. They send message. They don't send message of powerful boats and guns and everything. They send them the message. It's like Noah's Ark. He said, okay, here's the message. You got Noah had to build it all. God didn't build it for him. God told his thing. He could say, hey, Noah, don't worry about them angels. I'm going to put a boat, some angels a boat for you. No, he gave information, and you got to do it yourself. Nobody's here to save you. I'm not here to save you. He gave information to save yourself. See, they got all wrong. Jesus come, no, you better read the scripture again. They come, that's what I believe. They come and give you scripture and tell you the frequency waving if you need to be on, survive what's happening, move to the next level. And you have to apply it or don't apply it. If you apply it, you're a believer. That means you apply it and you're successful. If you don't believe, then you're a disbeliever. So you're burned up. You're lost in the last season. Like the Sunnis about you're lost in that crime stuff. How's it working out? They see angels coming. How come they kissing the devil's ass? How come that false Israel little mouse come in their house? They're all big, strong, the Hulk. He come in squeaking, everybody start shitting on themselves. Come in raping their children, killing their children, wives, everything else. And they come in and give, hey, bro, say to Trump. Trump killing their children, their family, their family members. And he come over there, hey, Trump, man, here's a play, I love you. Are you serious? They're going to tell you they got Allah. They got the Quran. They got Arabic. They ain't got a goddamn thing. But a bunch of shit they selling, and that's all it is. It tells you clearly. You have to believe in this book, the book that is revealed to you, and revealed before you, which is the Bible. They are, no, that's what it says. Allah is talking. It tells you clearly, the Injil and Daniel are the books of the end times. It says it right in there. Those is God's for the end times. Assalamu alaikum.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
thing, brothers and sisters, I'm close. I can find it. That's from Muhammad. War in heaven is about, he's about to ride. He's going to ride on a white horse, chapter 19. Make her own the queen of planets, God, universe. That's true, and it is true. How can we have nothing? That means everything in the earth, on the earth, and on the earth belongs to us. We have nothing. Who has it? They got control of us. They got our identity, our land, our economy, and he stole our vision. We're not going anywhere. That's the vision. The vision is a promised land. That's our vision. And he said we ain't going anywhere. That means we have no vision. And it says if nation without vision perish. He said we don't have a vision. As far as what's our vision? He said the covenant is not our vision. We're not going anywhere. So that's what the vision is. If he can't tell you, that means it says a nation without vision perish. And the point is, we ain't no nation. Why? How in the hell is there a nation over there if they want to stay under the thumb of another nation? That's not a nation. That's slavery. Okay, I don't have it here, brothers, so I'm close. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.